David said, "My life was recorded in your book before one of them came to be." Today, we retell our stories, which is God's story. And now, here is God's story.
Okay, hello everyone. So today we are blessed to have Blessing joining us to share his story, which is God's story. So, Blessing, I know from the short time I've known you that you were born in a Christian home. What does God mean to you?
Yeah, I think God means everything to me. He means sustenance. It gives me meaning and existence.
Wow.
I think in a world where we have a lot of challenges, I know that I can always go back to the source of life, to the creator of heaven and earth, and know that I'll find my identity, I'll find my true north. So I really see and believe that God is my everything, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. That He truly is my everything. That's what He means to me.
Wow. That is amazing. Yeah, that is so beautiful what you've shared about God, because in a world that we live in and so many things are happening, it's quite easy for people to think that our authority and our sustenance is in what the world is offering. But it's beautiful to be reminded that actually the creator of the universe, he actually sustains us. Everything that we hold dear is actually from him, and he's the one who makes life happen for us. So that is beautiful.
Beautiful. So, I mean, in your life, working with God, what is one thing that has happened or you've experienced with God that you know, like, this breakthrough it has to be God?
Yeah, I think also I didn't check out how much time I have to tell you a story because I think some of these things are understood in stories in terms of what God has done. Sarah and I got married in 2011, and we started trusting God for a child, and things were not working out in accordance to our planning as human beings. Then in 2013, I had a sense and a sensation that we needed to start a fund that would call a baby fund for 5 years. So we started this fund, and then we sort of forgot about it. And in between, we were trusting God for a miracle, for a baby. And we went to different doctors, fertility doctors. They all told us it was not possible to have a child. I remember one particular event when we went to meet a fertility doctor that we were told was a true specialist, the guru on top of gurus. And he said to us that actually there's this situation is dire. He can try to do like a fertility treatment and do see what happens if he implants and all kinds of things. And that hit me hard at that particular stage when I finally realized where we were when we were being told it's not going to work, when you're being told your wife is barren. And God gave us a word and gave us a promise in Isaiah 54, when the Bible begins to talk about, "Oh, you barren woman, extend the pegs of your tent." And I came back home with a message, a report from the doctor, and we started praying and truly believed that we can stand and believe the report of the Lord. And we embarked on a project to literally physically extend the boundaries of our walls in our house. And so we started building and extending our house in preparation of what was to come. And God came through in a timely, amazing way. In fact, when the 5-year fund that we started in 2013 matured, that's when baby Alex was born.
Hallelujah!
Of God. And so he did it in a way that took away any doubt in our minds that this could have been, a human intervention or anything. We didn't go through any sort of treatment. We just stood on the word of God. We believed on his report. And today we can testify of his goodness. This is a story, whenever I think about it, it gets me close to tears that God has done it for us. And indeed, we have a miracle baby. And I get the privilege of seeing him every single day as a true testimony of what God can do.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
It's just so good.
Wow. That is the miracle working, living Father that we serve, that he knows exactly what he's doing and he knows how he's ordering our steps. Actually, this leads me to another question that I've got for you. So I know you're working, you're the head of your family. How do you see God ordering your steps in your journey with him? How do you see him doing that for you?
Yeah, I think for me, one of those verses that stands out for me is, your word is the lamp unto my feet, Psalms 119, 105. That reminds us that our steps and the steps of a righteous man are ordered by the Lord. As you take each step, you can truly be led by God. I think even us coming to the UK was just a phenomenal story in terms of also how I led the family. Just on the back of the story of Alex, we were 9 months into his birth when we felt strongly called to move and to pack up our bags and come to the UK. And of course, it didn't make sense at that particular stage because we had a very, very comfortable big house in South Africa. We had a nanny who stayed with us all the time. We had all the help that we would have wanted and desired. Our careers were thriving. We were really serving in our local church. It didn't make much sense, but through obedience and knowing that we need to follow the word of God, because when you rest and remain in the promises of God, then you are like that tree that's planted next to the river. You will always be fruitful. And so I think it took us on a journey of faith, firstly to have a conversation with my wife that we were moving to the UK, and then follow through. And what I see right now are the fruits of obedience. 3 years in the journey, I can truthfully say that the Lord has ordained and led each and every single step. And the beauty about it is, this is not a story about me, but this is a story about us as a family. I see my wife is thriving. She's in a career that she's truly loving, but also has opportunities where she's really now plugging into the community. We were laughing today about the big words that Alex is using, telling us about how soon snow is going to start. I can't even repeat the big word. I even forgot it's an English word, but his vocabulary, his command of English is one that is already ahead of mine. And I'm just saying, that can only be God, and just following the steps of God is ordained on us.
I think even listening to your story on how God is leading your family and ordering your steps, how would you say how does God speak to you? What is the way that you believe that God uses to speak to you?
Yeah, I think the obvious way that he speaks to me is through peace. I truly get that peace that surpasses all understanding in circumstances in which I'm probably seeking him for, or praying and trusting him for. I think there's that verse in John 14, it must be 28 or so, which talks about the peace that I leave unto you is not like the peace of this world. It's peace that comes from God. That's a way that I truly feel that God is speaking to me. I just have that sense of peace that just settles in my heart, and I know that this is what the Lord is saying. And I think also of late, I have really been feeling a sensation of like a burning sensation that lands in my heart. I think it's Jeremiah who describes it so well when he says that it's like fire shut up in my bones. When you begin to have a sensation that something is going to happen, and God is speaking to you, and you can't shake it off. That is becoming more and more evident in my life right now. And when I have that feeling that God is speaking, I now have the opportunity of seeking Him more, of praying and nurturing what has landed in my heart, spend some time nurturing it. And the beauty about it is to see it manifest and become something really beautiful. So it's predominantly peace, but it's also now a sensation that is really landing, that I just need to nurture through prayer and seeking God and seek and look for clarity.
So I will ask you, what does faith means to you? Because the Bible says that, but without faith, it's impossible to please God. So how do you see faith, and what does it mean to you?
Yeah, faith, I think it is truly total reliance on God. When you start going in a direction, and when you say you have faith, it's impossible to please God, as you say. I think Hebrews also emphasizes it's that total reliance on God. When we make a plan, and I'm a planner, so I love to make plans. I think of plan A, plan B, and how then if this doesn't work, then how does that bounce? But when we talk about faith, then I only have a plan in God, and I know that it will be fulfilled through God. So when you have that courage, that confidence that I will go to my father, or what father will give a child a snake when when they ask for fish, or a stone when they ask for bread. That is faith for me. Total reliance on God, and know that He cares for me. He cares. He truly cares. He's my father. He cares for me. That for me is faith. That reliance, total reliance on God.
Oh, that is so good. Total reliance on God. Okay, so then this brings me to another question for you, Blessing. Have you had to deal with unanswered prayers?
Yeah, I think this is an interesting topic for me when it comes to unanswered prayers. For me personally, I was saying this, and I was saying it with boldness, that I cannot remember an unanswered prayer personally that I have done. But I think it has a lot to do with praying in accordance to God's will. And it's been a journey that I have learned. But in general, also praying and sometimes aligning with other people's faith, trusting God for things to work out. I think there are lots of cases where we have unanswered prayers that take place. I think it's a journey of faith. It's a journey that brings forth growth. But more importantly, it's a journey where we should not give up. Some circumstances seem final when you're praying, especially when you're praying for someone to be healed, and then you lose them. But I think in the circumstances, it's also the prayer that you make after that. That God, we trusted you in this. We did what we thought we could, and we truly believed this could work, but it hasn't worked. So speak to us, bring us the comfort. And in so doing, and when you are truly open and you open up your heart, God can also still even speak in those circumstances. So I think, personally right now, top of mind, I can't think of one immediate, but praying into certain circumstances, lots of circumstances where things are not answered. But I always take courage that we don't give up in prayer. Yes, you have lost your loved one, but what is God saying through that, and how can that life still be used for the glory of God?
That is so good, because I think we get stuck in this cycle of I've prayed about this, it's not happening, and God is not listening and all that. But he says something really important there. When our prayers align with God's will, then there's nothing like he's not listening, because it's whatever he wants to happen, that is what we're going to see as manifestation. And it's really, really, beautiful for us to grasp that truth that Father is on our side. And once we align our will with his, we will see whatever he wants to manifest on the earth. Have you got
I think it takes pressure away from us when we begin to pray in the will of God. I think you are always comfortable with the outcome because you know it's his will. So it's
liberating, isn't it? It is very liberating. Perfect.
Yeah, I also love what you said about sometimes circumstances may seem final, but as you pray, with God's will, when you see those prayers actually being answered, so that's really powerful. Yeah, I love that.
Final question for you, Blessing. What would you say to someone listening to you right now who is struggling with their faith or who doesn't believe that your God is real?
Yeah, I think it's normal under natural circumstances to feel that way. And in many ways, I do feel sorry for such circumstances. And I also think when I look at these situations, and especially what is happening around in the world at the moment with the turmoils that we see, the global pressures, the complexities that even businesses have never seen before, and we need to navigate this. I think there is a lot of things that are beginning to point to us as human beings that we may not be in control as much as we thought we were in control. And we are not truly have full control of our lives in the way that we think we may have. I think COVID has shown us that. It was a global pandemic. I think what is happening right now all around us is showing us that. There's this verse that says, taste and see the goodness of God, right? I think my encouragement is to say, as Job says in Job 42:5, I've heard about this God, but now I've seen him with my own eyes. I think my encouragement would be to say, you are not going to lose anything by giving this a go, by trying it out and see how it looks like. You're not going to lose anything. You're not going to lose your bearing. There is a lot of good things that come out of Christianity. If anything, even just the moral excellence that is defined in Christianity circles will be good for you, will be good for your family, will be good for your broader friends and stuff. I think there's a lot of merit about that. But what I would encourage is taste it, see, and then have people that can surround you, can pray, can encourage you, because I can guarantee you this, that once you taste it,
no going back.
You see the goodness of God. Because what we talk about, these are not fairy tales. These are miracles, like I was sharing earlier on, of what God has done in circumstances that were dire, where there was no hope, and he came and he brought light. Taste it, try it out, and see. And let's talk about it, understand why. And I think the questions that you're asking are pertinent and extremely relevant. And it could be because someone feels that God doesn't care, or my prayers have not been answered. But then let's walk a journey on this. Give it a try, walk a journey, give him a chance, and express your frustrations to him because he cares. Tell him why you're unhappy. Tell him why you have been angry, and he will hear it. And just surround yourself with people who know him, because in so doing, just taste them and see what lies ahead.
Amen.
Wow, thank you so much, Blessing, for coming on and sharing your story with us. And I know it will be a blessing to many.
Blessing Makumbe. That's my name, and this is a God story. But actually, it's a Makumbe story. It's something that is a story for us as a family.